Welcome to a new episode of TTG Conversations 5 Questions video series. I'm Karen Yu, Group Editor of TTG Asia Media. In this episode, we'll look at the paw print economy and its impact on travel and tourism. Taking us through this topic is Fred Barou, Senior Vice President for Customer Success Management, Asia Pacific at Amadeus. Hello, Fred, and welcome to the show.
Hello, Karen. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Paw print economy is such a cute name for a thriving industry built on people's love for their pets, don't you think?
Yeah, it's very cute and very relevant, actually. I live in Asia as well, and I see the growth every day. So it's a fascinating topic.
Yeah. And do you have a pet in your family?
Actually, I don't, because I travel so much. Actually, it wouldn't be fair on the pet. I barely can keep green plants. So
Yeah. Same for me. I'm a cat person, but I realize that it's my lifestyle and yours is very much similar, and it's impossible for us to sustain well. Well, whether or not, sorry?
It will be for retirement time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'll be the crazy cat lady with 90 cats, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whether or not we have made time in our lives for a pet, we have to agree that pets, very much like children, have the power to make us spend and splurge. So let's get into this discussion, yeah, Fred?
Yep.
Okay, I've got 5 questions for you, and here's the first. Amadeus Travel Trends 2026 report highlighted a fascinating observation and projection, and that is the growing value of pet travel on the back of an expanding global pet industry that could value around 500 billion US dollars. Yes, that's right. In 4 years' time. Yeah. Will you tell us how this expanding global pet industry is impacting travel and tourism?
Sure. So yeah, I agree with you. It's fascinating, and I was surprised myself. Amadeus commission reports very regularly, and we look at trends, and we tend to group them in 5-6 different trends every year. So this is the 26 trends, and they're all fascinating. But the first one is the paw print industry or economy that indeed relate to travel with pets around the world, and traveling like flying and staying and sightseeing with pets. So in this report, normally we look at trends that are involved by technology, cultural change, or innovation. And this one is across the three. So as you said, I think the 500 billion is the number that, the industry, the pet industry in general, not travel only. So it touches everything, the food and everything you can think of for pet. The travel itself is about 2 to 3 billion. The growth is amazing. The growth is like 40-45%. It's projected to be at almost double in 5-6 years from now. So yeah, you see the travel with pet becomes a mainstream. When we surveyed, we looked at different markets, and then we found that about 40 to 47 people surveyed were not only owning a pet for the first time, but also traveling with a pet for the first time. So this is a growing trend. They have a pet, and now they start traveling with it. It's supported by different things. If you look at it, it's a lifestyle change, generation change, new technology that are being made available for traveling with pet to make it easier. A lot of legislation change. You will see that pet travel is not easy. It has a lot of constraint due to legislation, to rules. But then with innovation, with new travel technology, new ways of looking and booking accommodation, for instance, or rail, you will see that it becomes easier and easier. So it has many impact on the travel operators. They need to cater for it's a new customer segment, a new consumer trend that they need to cater for. They cannot ignore it anymore. It's not just a small print in the back of the booking engine. But it has, infrastructure are changing, regulation are changing. So you see, like in Hong Kong now, it's much easier to bring your pet in your MRT journey. So you can bring small pet with you. It's mainstream now. In Italy, the aviation has opened for bigger size pet in cabin. In China, you'll see pet-friendly couch on rail, on high-speed train. Japan Airlines is also releasing new chartered flight for pets. So you see that has impact everywhere in the industry, and it's really purpose-built now. So what we see is that the operator are really trying to define the service they want to offer, and not just a side afterthought. So big impact, and the brands are competing. All the brands now, hotels, accommodation, competing for being the most pet friendly.
Yeah. I was in Himeji, the outskirts of Himeji last November, and I was staying in Ryokan. You would not expect the ryokan to be pet friendly, but they actually have a number of rooms in the wing that was set out just for dogs and cats. So that's pretty surprising. Now,
Yeah.
have you come across, any interesting examples of travel and tourism businesses catering to traveling pets, not just, airlines making space for bigger pets, but something that's creative?
Yeah, and there's many. You started with hotel. I think hotels are now really starting to provide services to pamper the pet. So pet comes and it almost treated as a guest. So you have in Singapore where you are, there's the Chapela Hotel. They have what they call a spacation. So pets can be treated with a spa, and they have special services for them. So you come with your pet, and there is people that are actually professional, because of course you need people that are educated and know what they're doing. So they treat the pet in a spa. This is the AKA Hotel. They've created a canine club with loyalty points. So if you come regularly with your pet, you can earn some points, and then of course get discount or perks for the next time. Different tour operator also are offering, because one of the challenge in pet traveling with pet is the end-to-end journey. So tour operator are thinking, okay, how can I cater for everything from flight, the sightseeing, the accommodation? So AON Travel, I think is the name, and with JAL, they created a tour package called 1-1 Tours that includes a charter flight for pet in the cabin, sightseeing with your pet, and then pet-friendly accommodation. So it's all coming together. Even DMOs, the destination marketing company in Korea, they change a lot. They're starting to publish pet-friendly guidelines, information for people traveling with pet, but also people receiving pet. So with ways to behave. Airport, they accommodate. We travel with pet, and sometimes they need an area to relieve. Airport, I also catering. I think in Changi in Singapore they have an area for dogs now where you can go and take your dogs out. So it's not only A to B type of travel. It's about the whole journey and the whole experience now.
That must be really encouraging for pet lovers who really want to be with the pets even on holiday, huh?
Yeah. I think they see that they are being thought of, and they don't come as a problem anymore. It's not traveling with a pet. And you see it in flight. I mean, all the time now. You see bigger pet actually even in business class these days.
Are such pet-friendly travel infrastructure and amenities more common in the West compared to Asia? What do you see, Fred? And what is Amadeus seeing in terms of its network of travel suppliers?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I think historically, and I come from Europe. Historically, there has been more convenience for traveling with pet in Europe and North America. In particular, small pets. There is I'm from France, and the French railway is a big network, and there's always been certain rules and size and weight where you can carry your pet, and they will accommodate it. So I think it's more normalized in Europe and North America, but it's really growing now in Asia. We see what was a bit more restrictive in the past, maybe more regulation and maybe more concern about health and security. The gap is loosening, and it impacts many areas, we said. But across our network, we see India, Japan, South Korea, China loosening up and opening more, pet facilities and pet cabin. Searches in our system, we can cater for search. Searches for pet travel in South Korea grew by 15% year over year. So we see a very big growth. Thailand, 92%. I live in Thailand, and I can tell you there's a lot of pets around here. And there's been extraordinary growth, like 92% more searches around pet travel. India, same thing. So gradually, we see effort being made by the operators, by the country to welcome the pet. So mobility, JR Rail in Japan, for instance, as in the Shinkansen now, you can carry your pet with you in Shinkansen, certain route, which was not the case before. Korean Air, they created a product called Sky Pet, which is a loyalty product for people traveling with pets. Where your pet can earn points. I don't think you can redeem your pet's point for you, but you can carry your pet again and earn points and redeem with your pet on certain destination.
Now, throughout our conversations, you've already identified several barriers to pet travel. The legislation, the restricted access, and also the breaks in the entire travel journey. But out of all these barriers, what would you say are the biggest barrier to pet travel now in Asia? Yeah,
so it's interesting. In the survey, we found that about 20% of the people did not believe actually the fine print that says, yeah, pets welcome in the hotel, or 20% of the people would find it unreliable. And that's one of the barriers, is the lack of transparency and consistency. So if you do let's say if you do a simple trip, you take your pet, you fly one flight and you go see family and friends and you stay with them, that's fairly easy now to do. Now the complexity comes if you do a full tour. You take your pet, you fly, you go on a tour, you go on a cruise, you go in a hotel. You need the whole consistency end to end to make sure that you're not going to hit a roadblock at some point. So the lack of transparency, the lack of accuracy in some of the data, multiple regulations, vaccination regulations change a lot by country. In Japan, for instance, if you don't have proper vaccination, you need to go into, or your pet will need to go into quarantine for up to 6 months. Same in Australia. So it's not always simple to understand all the rules and regulation as a traveler. But again, if you in Japan, you take your pet on the train, that's fairly easy now. You fly, you do one flight or return flight with a pet, it's fairly easy. It's just the end-to-end trip that becomes a bit complicated. And then, of course, there is health concern as well. 50% of the people tell us they are worried if something happened, will they find a vet? Will they find facilities for them to treat their pet? So there is concern about what if there is disruption? So you may book a flight that is all fine with pet, but there is disruption, then all of a sudden you cannot take the same flight, and you kind of stuck. So these are the barriers we can see.
And it sounds like there are a lot of opportunities for the travel and tourism suppliers to really build a niche in pet travel by removing all these barriers that you spoke about, or by being even more integrated with the paw print economy. What sort of opportunities do you see that's possible now?
Yeah, so you named it. I think the travel industry, as we know it, is a very complex, multi-dimensional industry with many layers and players, and not only for pet travel, but in general, the industry works better through partnership and through sharing information properly between the different players. So that's one of the opportunity that we see, is how do we make the information across the industry consistent? During COVID time, that was one of the challenge, was to rely on accurate and visible information. And it was at the beginning was very, very complex. People were carrying tons of documents. After a while, it became easier and easier, and then we had our digital vaccination and we could travel. Similarly, you could think, okay, why do we need to carry all this paper for my pet? Maybe I can have like a digital identity for my pet. In Amadeus, we have a product called Travel Ready, where we digitalize all identity for travelers, all your papers, your visas. We could think of the same thing for pets. So you have a electronic vaccination for your pet, electronic journey, and then it would facilitate the connection between the players. So the industry needs to, as always, speak the same language, connect the dots, exchange information to make it easier for pet travel. That's the big opportunity we see. And of course, technology will help.
Yep. That's wonderful insights there. Thank you so much, Fred, for your time and for this very fun discussion. Probably the most fun I've ever had on my 80 episodes of 5 Questions, actually.
Thank you so much for having me. And it was great to speak to you.
Past and future episodes of TTG Conversations 5 Questions can be found on the TTG YouTube channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.